Copenhagen, summer 2018. At last, the city seems to be returning to a normal state of peace and quiet. Politics fills the newspapers rather than violent crime. There is speculation of an election, but so far nothing concrete has come of it. Everything is normal, except that for 15 minutes, the city's fountains suck up water rather than spraying it, and no one seems to notice. Meanwhile, a mausoleum lies silent. Outside, the bones of numerous unwelcome visitors litter the floor, and a shadow flutters past the door. On the sarcophagus within is emblazoned the arms of House Dougal, and the name Kos. Meanwhile, 2 members of the motley has met with the lady, and the truth suddenly seems a lot darker and a lot more unpleasant than it did even yesterday, and that is saying something. Uncertain of the future, the young Kithane have more decisions to make as a new member of their society has arrived in Copenhagen. A member with an unwelcome name. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Copenhagen Dreaming. It is that time of the week again, where we return to our Changeling the Dreaming campaign. And as per usual, we're going to need a recap from last time. So, Chris, please take it away.
Last time on Copenhagen Dreaming. Yes, 2 of our number, specifically Agnes and Jasmine, were invited to an audience with the lady. We revealed this to the rest of the group, who were mortified, but also intrigued, and it was agreed that we would go to this meeting, but we would set up some kind of surveillance so that members of our group could listen in and keep us somewhat safe. As we were doing this, someone arrived into the Dream Factory where we were all convened, who revealed themselves to us eventually after we looked at them as being a she. And after much more coaxing, we discovered to our consternation that she was a she from the Swedish courts by the name of Theresa Kos.
Actually, the Dutch, not the Swedish.
So the Dutch court, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent. My apologies. The Dutch court, then. But yes, Theresa Kos. A name which, of course, is beloved by all within Copenhagen. Not. It was decided that because of her arrival and the fact that she was in more danger than even she realised, we would once again split the party, with some of us going to the direction of Armagh to conduct our interview with the lady and those listening in, and those going to the Winter Court to escort Theresa to safety and to let people in power who we could trust know that, hey, she is here and that this is obviously something of a problem. So let's see. Yes, Jasmine and Agnes arriving at the Fall of Man were mildly threatened by other members of the Shadow Court there, but were otherwise unmolested in both the literal and figurative sense, as they went to see the lady, and the lady explained a few things about her past, about why she had her vendetta, and what it would take to bring her potential reign of terror against the courts to an end, in that she felt she had been wronged personally by Duke Hardenberg, and that she expected Duke Hardenberg to basically engage her in single combat, where she could then thoroughly kill him, and then she'd head off back to Jutland and mind her own business, and deny the Shadow Court her continued support. Or else, after a year, if this condition was not met, she would basically start wreaking all kinds of havoc. She also informed us, much to our horror, that the Shadow Court had made plans, and that as soon as Duke Hardenberg was dead, they would launch a full-on offensive against the Summer and Winter Courts to regain control of Copenhagen and Denmark, and that they had the support all the Swedish Changeling courts. That's where the Swedish court names came in. And obviously, this is very, very, very bad for us because, you know, one court in a city taking on the might of another country's fae on top of the Shadow Court of their own city is not going to bode well. But yeah, these were the terms laid out to us by the lady. She gave us some other parting advice. She knew we'd been listening in, but didn't much care. And she also interestingly informed us about, obviously, the fact that Bloody Alice had been told us a few truths, a few lies, but also cryptically suggested that Bloody Alice might actually make a decent friend should we, decide not to have her executed as a public display. We'll see. After this, the rest of us who were out Amar made our way back to the Winter Court, where those who hadn't gone there and had gone with Therese were finally introduced back to the Duchess Rosenspar, and we revealed everything. Teresa Kosa's identity and position, the lady's ultimatums, and to say that the Duchess took all this information badly is quite an understatement. Many threats and a feeling of a drop in temperature were had throughout her office space. But basically, the last we left off, she was basically threatening to do things as otherwise unspeakable to Duke Hardenberg for his folly in allowing the situation to reach this stage of desperation and potential hopelessness.
Yep.
So we're all in the office. Basically, we can react to her deep and cold and terrible rage.
And that is where we rejoin you, I believe.
I'm so tempted to crack wise at her outburst.
Please do not.
Okay. Give me a second. I am going to roll a willpower test. Just for the hell of it.
Certainly. Let's see it.
What's the difficulty, would you say, for resisting the urge to crack wise?
7.
7.
Whoops, that's a -1 success.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop-de-doo.
Well, at least you're taking it reasonably well, Your Grace.
She sends you a look that could wither an oak at 50 paces.
Jasmine,
Does Jonas?
Jasmine just shuts the hell up.
Yeah.
And Agnes stares at in disbelief because there goes the guideline for courtly behavior.
Yes!
Mm-hmm.
She thinks, or she looks like she's contemplating something, and while she does so, she looks at all of you and lets her eyes linger a lot longer on Jasmine than any of the rest of you, and she goes, "If you are quite done making merry of a desperate situation, then I believe I have things to arrange, such as the defense of this city, and probably this country."
I know I'm just young one, and I might have something brought from history. It's called guerrilla war. How about we chimerical kill some of these shadow things and leave them as human beings, so we can end up with not having a shadow court that should eliminate the threat. And if we can do this in a year, then the threat should be taken care of.
It's not a bad idea. I'll definitely give it some thought, she says. The problem is that the moment we start doing that, they will start doing it as well.
And that I actually have a solution for too.
Let's hear it.
That's just a matter of enough sovereign. If you got enough sovereign, when you chimerical kill someone, you change the entire memory of the things.
Yes.
And if you remove the memory of them having ever been a thing,
yes,
then you will have some humans who we can make believe that they are homeless, and no matter what, they will not remember what happened to them.
This is true. The problem is that even the point here is that as soon as they realize that their numbers are dwindling, they won't actually wait until they have evidence of who's done it. They're just going to start attacking us.
That's true, but if we can coordinate this enough, we can take out 4 or 5 of them as if my memory serves me right, there's about 12 of them left, because we got one of them, and one of them is already Kimiko killed. That leaves 12.
Yeah.
If we can remove 5 of them within 2 days,
Yeah.
in this way,
I know of at least 30 in the city.
that many?
That many. Out of character speaking, I haven't put names to every single Fae in Copenhagen. There should be something in the vicinity of about 130. So I didn't want to put names to all of them.
No, but that's okay.
Yeah.
August would not have any reason to know of all these people.
No, of course.
So,
but she says, I know of about 30. And we don't know if they already have Swedish allies in the city. That is something that we need to find out. Because if we can remove them to begin with, we're going to cut off communication.
Yeah. But that was a way I could see that we could actually do some serious harm without them actually having any way to retaliate without breaking the concords or whatever you have.
I'll say it this way, if you get the chance, take it. If you get the opportunity, take it.
Thank you.
Right. At least we have the knowledge of it now. There is one more matter that you should at least be informed of, Your Grace. It's nowhere near as dire.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because out of character, I don't believe we've told her this yet.
Nope.
As it turns out, I am the son of Valdemar Kors.
There's just this deep silence that just spreads through the room. It's kind of, pervasive as she looks at you with this expression on her face that almost commands you to tell her that you're joking.
Jonas does not, in fact, tell her he's joking.
Sonny just smiles in a yep kind of way.
Brilliant.
Once again, Your Grace, if I may.
Yes?
You are in luck here because he has never known his father. He has not been brought up in the family, which means that the bad teaching from the family will not have bred through.
That is a good point. The problem, of course, is that, Jonas is a reasonable young man. I've known him for years now, and I have no doubt, and I didn't even when I got told this, that Jonas is one of the good ones.
Thank you, Your Grace.
I don't personally believe in inherited sin, so that I don't blame you for what your grandfather did. Because that makes, in my opinion, no sense whatsoever. Gesundheit. But, she says, the Shadow Court have already proved that they are not quite as forgiving in having killed Julian, simply for being who he was. So, my concern is not that you're going to turn out to be the next Voldemort. My concern is for your safety.
Yeah.
I think Sunny lives a brow. She's read Harry Potter. At least seen the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Or rather, she doesn't say the next. Sorry, she doesn't say the next Voldemort. She says the next Ivar, of course. Voldemort was the son.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
It sounded like you said Voldemort.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
Aww, less cool.
that's why I've been keeping it down low.
That's probably a very good idea. Very good idea. Now, out of character again, I can't remember if you told... I think you told her about Teresa's arrival and such. Yeah.
Teresa kind of said, "Hi, I'm Teresa."
Yeah, that's true. She did. She sits down in her high-backed chair and kind of steeples her fingers in front of her face and goes, "So we now have 2 of your family in the city, and the the Nightmare Court will do whatever they please to get to you." As I said before, she says and looks towards August, if you do get the chance to put an end to a few of them, chimerically if nothing else, please don't go out there and actually commit murder. But if you can put a chimerical end to them, that would be
actually my plan was, when I go from here, I will go see if I can find Billy somewhere,
right,
and get him to make me change this normal sword into something chimerical, so I actually have the possibility.
I think that can probably be arranged. Yes.
And I'm thinking about giving my throwing knives to Agnes, so all of us actually has a possibility of learning to use these weapons, because the way I see it, we're going to war.
Yes. I don't think we are going to... We're probably not going to escape that fact. I'm still of the conviction that we need to do something about the Swedish connection, but I'll give that some more thought while you guys do whatever you do, and I'll let you know. Who would have thought that I would end up placing so much faith in a group of Kithane as young as you?
Well, that might be one of your strengths.
I never thought I was going to say that, but suddenly the lady is the least of our problems.
Indeed, she is.
For a year at least.
Well, for a year at least, yes. But the thing is, the way I see it is, the Baron has benefited greatly from her having been here, because everyone, myself included, we've been so focused on the danger we perceived her to be, that we've probably been blind to things that he's been doing.
Smart.
That's probably one of the reasons he had her.
I imagine so.
It actually makes more sense now what the ugly one we captured said, that when we changed into this, that they weren't there hunting us, but were there to try to get us to join them.
Yeah, it does. Well, with the probable exception of you and Jonas, specifically.
Yeah.
Well, with my house, I'm actually not sure if they would have tried anyway.
Oh, they've killed others from your house in the past. The Baron doesn't distinguish. As soon as you're she, you're an enemy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and the thing here is, I'm going to be very forthright with you all right now. And I expect what I'm about to say to not escape this room.
Of course, Your Grace.
What Duke Hardenberg did when he came back was perhaps necessary from a she perspective, but he handled it with an absolute lack of grace and tact. Telling someone like the Baron, who had been a good leader for his people for several generations already at that point, and who had managed to walk this fine, tight line between aging and staying, young and vigorous, that we are able to do by using freeholds in the correct manner. For someone as powerful as the Baron suddenly being thrown a bone the way that the Duke Hardenberg did, it couldn't have been seen as anything except a massive, massive insult. And while he overreacted in the most heinous way, I can't say that I wouldn't have turned to violence myself in retaliation. what I'm saying here is that while his methods are inexcusable, he does at least have a case for his anger.
Isn't that what makes him dangerous?
Yes. Yes, it is. That's also why so many are flocking to his banner. He is pulling people away one at a time.
With the atrocities we've witnessed in the dreaming, I can believe that.
I wasn't there when the Resurgence War raged. I'm not that old. But I have to say, with everything you have told me and with what I have gleaned over the years myself, I think that Duke Hardenberg needs to answer for what he did.
I agree.
I don't have... This is the problem, because Denmark is not a monarchy, but a duchy. I do not actually have the authority to put him on trial for what he has done.
No, but his daughter does.
Sorry, one more time? I didn't hear that.
His daughter has that authority.
She would have if she was in charge of the court.
Yeah, but as far as I can remember from history, if a king goes mad, the one to succeed him will actually have some sort of providence for actually doing something about it.
Oh, absolutely. We just have to prove that he's mad in that case.
Jonas looks impressed because he did not expect August to know about history.
Have you heard about our high school?
You talk about a backhanded compliment.
I mean, he doesn't say anything. He just looks impressed, and he didn't expect August to actually attend.
Well, history's exciting. People are killing people.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Isn't there anything, some kind of rules you can bend now that you have the power of both corps? I mean, basically handed it to you.
He did, but I still don't outrank him. That's the thing. I'm of the same noble height, if you would, as he is. The only person who can judge a duke is a king or a queen, as it is, and the nearest king or queen sits in Stockholm.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Isn't there also one in Dublin?
Yes, there is. In fact, that would be, well, the RE in Dublin would be the ultimate in terms of authority, but we're not really in Dublin.
No.
And I don't think we're going to entice His Majesty into pulling up his roots and relocating to Copenhagen for this. So unless we can somehow get Duke Hardenberg to go there, I don't know if that is going to work.
I know this is not the way things usually is, but how about him being judged by his peers? That means you and whomever has the same status as you do and his daughter.
That would work if his daughter was elevated to Duchess, then that would work. Of course, I could also... Oh, you guys still have a couple of days of summer holiday left, don't you?
Yeah.
A couple.
I have a feeling they just vanished. I can see her magicking.
She actually chuckles at that, and wags the fingers on her right hand just a little bit. Yes, look at me, I can do magic.
That's the magic.
Yes.
Poof!
I'm considering if I should possibly get some plane tickets.
For yourself or for us?
For you. You'd make excellent diplomats.
Oh, you're thinking about Ireland?
Yeah, I was considering it.
At least, no matter what, we have actually seen these things, which means we will not be able to. It will not be hearsay or second-hand things. It will actually be us who have seen it.
Exactly.
Um,
You could, but I'm not saying that is what I'm going to do. I'm simply considering it right now.
if I might speak, Your Grace.
Of course.
If we were to be sent to negotiate the court in Dublin, it would also behoove, of course, as I'm sure you're aware, to make an ally of them should, when the war inevitably breaks out, have someone from outside of Denmark backing us as Sweden backs the Shadow Court would be so.
Absolutely, and I could think of no stronger ally to have than the High Court in Dublin. I'm not sure if we can rely on that, on them actually sending military aid, but I suppose it can't harm to ask.
That would at least make them aware of the situation.
Indeed. How quick
Well,
can
I've
you
heard
guys?
Dublin is.
Yeah, how quick can you guys pack some bags and be ready for an extended weekend?
I'm thinking more or less as soon as I talk to Billy, I'm ready.
I'll need to make up an excuse as to why I'm not home and get my passport.
Well, you could always say you're going to an art exhibition with me.
In Dublin.
Mm-hmm. They have tons of good art over there.
But doesn't your mother see you for who you are right now?
Assuming it still works.
Well, if it does, I suppose making up an excuse is going to be a lot easier.
But what if I'm not there and she suddenly forgets again?
It usually lasts about, at least it lasts about a month unless she spends the glamour that she's been imbued with in some way.
Oh, I thought it lasted for a few days.
No, it'll last for about a month before it wears off.
I'll have to have a talk with her, and I suggest we also talk with our friend from Dublin.
That's probably a very good idea. You never know, somebody might be there to pick you up on the other end.
In that case, I suspect we're busy.
I think you are.
I don't even have to come up with an excuse. Dad isn't home.
My parents don't care.
Wow,
Youch.
that sucks.
Uh-huh.
I mean, not in this specific situation, but I imagine it sucks in general.
Nah. It makes things so much.
How about you, Jasmine? Chris. How about Jasmine asked, how about you, Jasmine? Will you have any issues?
I can try and convince my parents that it's a school-related trip before the term starts officially that I forgot to mention, but that should be enough to convince them.
And
Not I will
what
try.
about? Yeah. Okay. What about you?
I was just thinking about the combination between Sunny's idea and Jasmine's idea. I mean, like, my mom kind of likes the whole artsy thing, so I'm gonna say that I'm considering art school, and that would get some credibility points or something like that. It will probably work, and just tell that it's with Sunny because he's doing the whole art thing. I think she'll be alright with it. And yeah, if Mom's alright, that's alright.
Oh,
Sunny
okay.
looks pondering. I hope they don't know how responsible I am.
I didn't quite tell them.
Ah, good. Otherwise, I would say use someone else's name. But if you haven't told them how responsible I am, it's fine.
And as long as I can say that your dad's fine with it, then it's easier. I mean, that actually still works for my parents.
In that case, for you guys who don't need to have a conversation with your glamored mom, perhaps you could get a hold of Senya and get some advice from her.
Oh, that was actually a really good idea.
Yeah, she would know how to. They did have good relations with the Fae over.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually an amazing idea then.
Well, by your leave then, Your Grace.
By all means, if you return here in... Oh, I suppose I should have the tickets for you within the hour, so as soon as you're ready, then just come back here and I'll make sure they're ready for you to pick up.
Alright.
Nice.
There should be time, she says and thinks about it, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, there is a plane leaving at 7 o'clock tonight. You should be able to manage that, otherwise we'll have to get you on the first plane tomorrow. Which one do you prefer?
Tonight.
Tonight.
Tonight? Good.
We don't really know who we're dealing with, so we're gonna need time to figure it out.
Alright.
When you guys speak to Senya, you could always ask her if the werewolves over there have a specific liaison they tend to send to the court that we could meet with.
I will ask.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, you said when you talked to... Right, sorry, I misunderstood. Never mind.
Yeah, so basically Jonas is asking the other, because he imagines he'll have to have some time to convince his mom. So he's asking the others to go talk to Senya and perhaps ask her about how the whole cult system works and if there's someone from the werewolf side they should meet with to learn more.
Yes. Sorry, I just... I had a brain fart. Bleh.
It's okay, I'm also explaining for the sake of the others, in case they misunderstood too.
I are good at brain farts.
Brain farting is our best ability.
Yes.
Sonny, do you have Senya's number?
Yeah.
Could you arrange a meeting when time? I should probably get going now. That way I might be able to join you in the meeting.
Well, I don't really have a problem with parents, so I can meet her when who want to be there at the meeting. He looks at the other as they're leaving the room.
What meeting?
With Senya.
Senya.
I have to convince my parents they're going to take some work, and there's something I'd like to do here first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Jasmine, before you...
Yes?
If you need some help convincing, I can see if I can computer up a note from the school.
Yes, please. Something official would be a great help.
Dated for like when the vacation started, so it looks like it was made long ago, and she really just forgot.
I'll find a computer and see what I can conjure up.
Alright then. I guess it's just me asking her then.
If you arrange for the meeting to be a little later, I'll be able to join you. I just need an hour and a half or something to talk to my mom and
Okay. Sonia looks at Sir. How do you stuff a dog into a suitcase?
I think, Sir says, I think I'm going to have to stay here.
Oh, passport for you?
Yeah, but you have to take through customs and shit like that, don't you? In the movies, they always stay in.
Oh, I forgot they're no longer a part of EU. Oh, god damn.
Oh, Ireland is.
Ireland is. Yes, the
And
island.
I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
You can, if you have a doggy passport, you can take them anywhere you want within EU. They just have to have their regular ship.
Please forgive my out of character vulgarity, but every fucker and their grandmother after Brexit was announced decided they needed an Irish passport.
Yes!
I don't understand why.
Mm-hmm. Jasmine says, if you like, sir, I could leave Ganesha here as well to keep you company.
That would probably be a good idea. I would be grateful for that.
Oh, come on. Luke and Leia loves you.
Just you can just
Yeah.
you and Ganesha can go into battle against them in like something out of the old epics.
Aha, woof.
Don't get them lost again. It took ages to get them down from the ceiling.
Right. That was that. I don't have hands.
Then don't chase them up there. Also, be nice to them.
But I'll be nice to them, I promise.
I kind of love them, you know.
I know.
So
You love
only
me
chew them a
more.
little bit. Only chew them a little bit.
Yeah, I won't chew them at all because then I won't have any cookies. He looks
The thing is,
he looks crestfallen.
I mean, Sir's really good with not biting people that don't ask him to bite. But Luke and Leia has a tendency to get a little over ear, so they bite him.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that. Remember, it's kind of it's kind of embarrassing for a dog to be bitten.
I'm just proud that you were so nice to just get me to take them off. Anyway, I need to get packing and set up the feeding system at home.
Yeah, I'll go find Billy.
Yep.
I'll go see my mom, and then I'll join you for the meet.
I'll see what I can do. But it might take a little bit of time convincing my parents. But you never know.
Right. We shall deal with you guys one at a time. So I think if we start when because she's basically she lets you go at that point. You have things you need to do before you can get on the plane.
There is.
Oh,
what
sure.
the reason Jasmine did say she will stay behind quickly to get something out of the way.
Yes.
Concerning the Duchess, and it is just a quick thing.
Yes.
Assuming everyone else goes, she basically turns back to the Duchess, bows very deeply, and says, I offended you with my stupid levity earlier, Your Grace. If there is any other task you would bequeath me to make up for this offence, I would gladly take.
That's a good and appropriate apology, and yes, you did, because this is a serious situation. But I think what you're about to do is more than enough to repay that slight. Just, think before you speak.
It is one of the troubles of being an Aishu, but I will endeavour to
Thank you.
learn. Thank you, Your Grace. And with that, she bows again and makes her way out, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I think we shall go and have you talk to Agnes' parents first. So we'll deal with Agnes coming home and needing leave to go to Ireland first. So, yeah, there you are. You're home. And your parents are there. And cooking is ongoing in the kitchen.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Hi. How's the day been?
It's been really good. I actually have something to ask you.
Right.
You know that there's not so much time before we go back to school.
Right.
And I was considering, taking the art class a little bit more seriously.
Okay.
And actually, you remember Sonny, right?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
He's got the opportunity to go to, or he's planned to go to this art class thing in Dublin, and he just told me that they have a cancellation, so there's an extra spot, and it's free because it's already paid for. Over the weekend, and I know it's a little bit soon because it's actually leaving tonight, but it would be a really, 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 really big opportunity to go to this. It's sort of a workshop camp, art camp.
You really know how to drop something on us, don't you? So you want to go to Dublin on what? An hour's notice?
No, it's a few hours, and yeah, it's totally fine if I'm not allowed to. It's just like I have to ask. I can't just go,
Exactly.
It would really mean a lot.
Well, your mom looks at your dad, and well, they look like they're not quite sure what to make of this. But your father is the first person to shrug and say, well, do you have a place to do you even have a place to live there while you're there? The hotels aren't free.
No, it's like a camp with lots of other teenagers my age. So we'll be staying together and doing workshops.
Right, and you did say it was free.
And we're not starting at school, but they booked in a youth hostel for us. So, but there will be, adults, teachers. So we're not all alone.
All right. Well, he looks over at your mom.
Around Dublin, and we get to see some of the museums, and we get to meet some of the local artist workshops. It's just really, really cool, and you really don't have to pay anything, because anything we need to, other than that, it's just play money, and I had my savings for the summer.
All right. Well, your dad looks at your mom and says, well, she isn't 12 anymore. And your mom's like, no, but this is really short notice. And
I know, Mom, but yeah, I could really ask before I got the opportunity.
That's true. You obviously you couldn't. Tell you what, do you have Sonny's phone number on you? I can call him and just, I've got a couple of questions.
Yeah, sure. Just gonna look through her phone and quickly text Sonny.
Yes.
My mom's gonna call you. I told you we're going on tour workshops.
Yes.
By the way, we're staying at a youth hostel. And
yeah.
She finds the
well, Sonny.
number and
yeah.
starts reading out.
Yes, and Sonny, you get this text message.
Huh? Wait, what?
yeah.
Well, you learn every day that you'll live at a youth hostel, apparently.
Yes.
Interesting.
A moment later, your telephone rings.
I think he reads that thing and goes, oh, so we're living at a youth hostel, are we? And then he rings and he drops the phone like,
And do you actually, do you answer it?
I think he takes a deep breath and reminds himself what Maya has told him several times. you're gonna have to learn to deal with the parents of the people you're around.
Yes.
What was it the first one she had to deal with? Alright. His mom got mad and chased her down the street. Let's try not to have that happen.
Right. So
he picks up the phone.
Yes. And it is, in fact, Agnes's mom on the other end, and she does ask about this art camp that she, you know, apparently she says, I mean, my daughter just came home and said that you have that you're going on an art camp in Dublin, and that there's an open space that she can attend. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried. It's on such short notice, but I just, you know, can you tell me a bit more about what this is about?
Well, the cancellation came in this morning, so it was pretty soon.
Oh, well, yeah.
The one who was supposed to go kind of, you know, had an accident.
Oh, well, okay, well, that makes sense. It's you know, so you're basically, you will be. I mean, I've seen some of your paintings; they're excellent. Is this? I mean, Agnes is obviously, I'm her mother, so I will always think that she's talented. But there is a bit of a skip between what most people can do and what someone like yourself can do. Is this for everyone, or is it only for, you know, really accomplished students?
No, it's for everyone who wants to do art. It's just a regular, you know, art camp.
Oh,
you go out and see some of the painters near Dublin who paints, and you get to learn some of their techniques and try it out for yourself.
Oh, brilliant. That actually sounds like a good idea.
Then he rattles off a couple of artists that comes from Dublin,
because
he knows everything about art, the little shit
yes.
that works over there. Some of them do street art, and some of them do regular paintings and sculpting.
Oh.
It's basically to find out what you like the most of it.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm grateful for the for that you took the time. And
obviously, well, she showed interest in art, so I figured I'd ask her.
Yeah, of course. Well, I don't see a problem with it. Then I think she can come. And she's like, thank you very much, and have a really nice trip.
Thank you.
And then she hangs up and looks back to Agnes and goes, well, I guess that settles it. Then you're going to Dublin. You'd better hurry and pack.
Thank you.
On the other end, Sonny is heaving a couple of breaths.
Welcome to the world of bullshit artists.
Well, it was an art camp.
True.
Isn't all artist bullshit?
Hey!
As a creative, I take great offence to that. I get the feeling, considering our social circle, that this isn't the last phone call from a concerned parent Sonny's getting this evening. At the end of it, they're going to be like, why me?
Why me? Yes.
Because you're so trustworthy. No one would believe you to bullshit anything.
No. So basically, you guys, that's the first of you who are now allowed to go. And I actually think that since the first one has now been settled, we should take our first break here. And
nice.
And be back with more in a few minutes. So yeah, okay.